Hello everyone, my name is Pratika Rai and we'll be talking about loops in Python today. Loops are fundamental constructs in any programming languages. Now it is used to repeat a task multiple number of times. For instance, if you want to print hello world one time, then that's fine. We can just use a print function. But if I want to print hello world, suppose 100 times or 10,000 times, then what do? We have two options. We can either write the print function 100 times or 10,000 times, whatever the requirement, or I can go for loops. So using loops, I just have to write a simple 1 or 2 lines and it will be enough to print your hello world or whatever the task is a number of times. Okay, so that is basically why we use loops for. So in Python also we have two different loops which helps us to repeat the task. So first is while loop and second is for loop. So first let's look into your while loop. Now while loop is used when you want to run a certain code a number of times, but you do not know exactly how many times you want to run it. Okay, so that is one reason why we use while loop. So repetition of block of code, as long as a condition is satisfied, we will be running the loop. Now this is the syntax for a while loop. So we write a while condition followed by a colon. Then in the next line we give a space and the block of code to be executed will be written in this particular line. And the line of codes, whatever we write in this indentation, will be included inside the while loop. We have to be very careful with the indentation in your loops in Python. For example, let us try to print your hello world 100 times or 10 times suppose. If you want to print it 10 times, we can either write it print function 10 times, or else I can go for while loop. So I have to initialize a variable first. So I equal to 1 and we are going up to 10. So in the while condition part, I will write I is less than equal to 10. So we are writing 10 times and I will print over here hello world, right? And then after that there is one more line that is quite important, that is I have to increment the value of I or update the loop control variable. Now if I run it over here, so you can see that hello world has been printed 10 times. Okay, now I'll take another example. Suppose I want to print a number from 1 to 10. Then what do? Again I'll use a loop control variable, start from 1, initialize it to 1, again while, then I'll give a condition. Now again condition will be less than equals to 10 followed by a colon and the space in the next line, and I will print it I. Okay, and then I will update the value of I. Now if I print it, I will see that the numbers from 1 to 10 has been printed over here using the while loop. Okay, now that was while loop. Another type of loop that we find in Python is for loop. Now it is used for iterating over a sequence of elements. Okay, now what are the sequence of elements that we find? Lists, tuples, dictionary sets, strings, arrays. These are the different types of iterating sequences. Okay, so now for loop provides a convenient way to process the data in these iterables. So for that the syntax is something like this: for I in iterable, then we give a colon followed by another space over here and the block of code that needs to be executed. Again, we have to be very careful about the indentation, because whatever we write in this indentation will be included inside the for loop. Okay, now let's take an example of iterating over different data structures. Suppose if I have taken a string hello world. Okay, so I have initialized the string to hello world. So what I'll do is for I in now iterable. So what is my iterable over here? st, that is your string, followed by a colon. Next line we give a space and then I will print the value of I. So here you can see each of these characters have been parsed one by one using the for loop. Okay, let's take another example of iterating over a list. Let's say for I in, now instead of initializing it beforehand, I am going to write the list here itself. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is my iterable. In this case, I will print I. So what do I see over here? The list has been iterated. Okay, so this is how we use your for loop. The next important thing in for loop is the range function. Now it helps to generate a sequence of numbers which can be iterated over a for loop. Okay, now it is used when you need to execute a block of code a number of times, right? So if you know exactly how many times you want the block of code to be executed, then we can use the range function along with your for loop. Okay, so let's take an example of using a range function. So suppose I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10, just like we did in case of while loop. So let's try to do it using the for loop. Okay, so for I in range, then I will give a bracket, and we are starting from 1. Okay, so we'll write 1 comma 10. Okay, so we will be able to print it from 1 to 9 in this case. Okay, because this second parameter that we see over here, it will come 1 minus from what we have given, and I will print the value of I. So here we will be able to see that the numbers from 1 to 9 will be printed in this way. Okay, so if I want to print till 10, then I can just go till 11. Okay, and by default the range function will start from 0. Okay, so if I do not give anything over here and simply write 11, you will see it will start from 0. Okay, so if you do not give any value over here, the first parameter will become the stop condition. Okay, so this is how we use the range function. So today we have discussed a few things about the loops that we find in Python. Thank you.